From Fort Worth, Texas, this is Midwest Sports Saturday. Good morning, I'm Joey McWilliams alongside Vince DeLisio at this point in time and a number of other guests on the way. It is a star-studded presentation of Midwest Sports Saturday. Crowley ISD, we are on the campus of the high school football stadium where the North Crowley Panthers won the 6A1 state championship back in 2024. May even mention that a little bit later. In the meantime, though, we have a lot to talk about because it is Championship Saturday. The NAIA Football Championship Series, the road to Fort Worth, it ends right here, and we have the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country playing for this title today. Vince, first off, sir, let me just shake your hand. It is a privilege to sit next to you and have you here on Midwest Sports Saturday today. This is something I've been looking forward to for a long time.
You know, we were kidding about it last night at dinner, which dinner was great. We were at that barbecue place. It was really fun. And but you didn't buy my dinner last night. I'm disappointed, Joey. I'm just sitting here lending my talents to you, and here we go.
I was fashionably late.
Yeah, well, that's all right. There's a lot of traffic for you. But anyway, no, I got to tell you, we've been planning this for years. I mean, 5-6 years going back that we've been talking about doing this, and we couldn't. We were restricted because of the accessibility, the travel, made it difficult of where this game was being held. Well, finally, it's at a place. Two things. Number one, it's convenient to get to. I'm in Arizona, you're in Oklahoma. It's just a drive for you. It's a quick flight for me. Secondly, the climate. Oh my gosh, this is nice. Yeah. This is a little windy today, but otherwise, this is a great game for football.
Well, it's chilly in the shade right now, and I realize I didn't bring the lighting that sometimes I do, but it's going to work out okay. The sun's coming out here. As a matter of fact, saw this morning that for the Fort Worth area, possibility of a high of 78, which I believe 79 is the record high for December 20th. Yeah. So record high day, Chamber of Commerce day. It's a fantastic day. Grandview and Kaiser. Vince, in all the times that I've had you on our channel, we've talked about NAIA football. You've been a fan of Grandview. You picked Grandview at the start of the season. You always pick Grandview at the start of the season, and here they are again.
I've got friends that are on that coaching staff, and it's a bet I was willing to make. It was an easy bet to make when you've got the 2-time National Player of the Year as your quarterback. You've got a culture of coaches that have been brought up through the program, through the years, a brotherhood, a fraternity. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. This is the model for the nation in the NAIA, that these guys are doing it the right way. Not that Kaiser isn't, but it is something that they've been doing consistently, and I mean, it's exciting to watch.
It absolutely is. So we will have Grandview, we'll have Kaiser here in just a moment as we're getting ready. Kickoff is set for noon Central Standard Time here from Fort Worth, Crowley ISD. You know, we've talked about the facilities. You can see them behind us. Seating about, I think we saw 8,000 last night was the official word of what's here. And it wouldn't surprise me if this place, you know, started to fill up, because there are a lot of folks that are going to come watch this. Again, from both fan bases seem to travel well, but again, making it to this part of the country and the nice weather in December, it's a nice place to be.
Well, it is, and the travel you mentioned, it's convenient. I mean, it's an easy flight for people coming from Florida, from Fort Lauderdale, but the drive even from Iowa isn't terrible. We're talking 11 hours by bus, so by car you make it a little bit quicker.
And we talked about that too. Grandview came in by bus.
They did.
They made the trip from Iowa down here to North Central Texas, and it's not a bad trip.
Yeah, if they preferred to fly, and I think it had something to do with their allotment from the NAIA to be able to get down here early enough, and chatting with some of the coaches about it. But it was also a team building trip for them. They broke the trip up. They stopped, I believe, in Emporia, did a little walkthrough there on their way down in Kansas, and then drove the rest of the way.
Solid program there as well. When we talk about Grandview, because I know we're going to mention both these teams with some other folks, and again, I mentioned it's going to be a highlight package today of all the folks that are going to stop by Midwest Sports Saturday here, and I want to make sure I'm using your time well too, because you go on live with your radio station back in Phoenix here in just a little bit. Yeah. But let's talk about Grandview. You mentioned Jackson Waring. This is a team that's going to come in today. They've been playing a lot of cold weather games. Now, I look like I'm a little bit cold right now, and it is a little bit chilly up here, but before the day's over with, this jacket's going to be gone. We're talking short sleeves around the stadium here. Let me zip it up a little bit more just to prove that. But around the stadium here in Fort Worth at Crowley, but they're not going to be playing in those cold weather environment today.
They are not. You know, last week was a true testament that it is a team sport. And Jackson Waring didn't have his typical 3-touchdown passing game, 100 yards rushing, 200 yards passing. He passed for a total of 36 yards, and they relied on their ground game and a supporting cast to deliver that win against a very good Benedictine team.
Now let's talk defense here really quickly. Another factor for Grandview in this, the defense is held on. It is the #1 defense in the NAI right now, giving up just 12.5 points per game, and they've looked solid in that cold weather as well. So talk about what they might look like today.
I think that you're going to see a lot of the same. I mean, they have a strong supporting cast around 2 guys, 2 All-Americans. Jackson Filer, a defensive end, John Argo, a linebacker. Both of them expect to have big games today.
All right, so as you're set up just a little ways down the way on the concourse up here, we're in the south end zone. Just beyond the south end zone up here, I think they call it VIP section, which is pretty
VIP,
nice.
And they let us up here.
I know.
Oh,
well,
man.
I know. Feeling nice about that today. But it's a great place to watch the game. With all that's going on surrounding these 2 teams in the championship game, what do you say for Grandview, having won this already once, that coming back today, what kind of mentality do you think that is being preached to them?
Well, it's a new game, a new day. And that was, we had a conversation with Jackson Waring earlier in the week, and I asked him that exact question. How is this going to be different? How are you going to prepare, knowing you've been #1 all year, knowing you haven't lost a game in how many years it's been, and played this same team last year at this time and beat this same team pretty soundly, 35-7. How are you approaching this game? And he said, we're approaching it like we approach every other game. It's a very good team. We're a very good team, but it's a new day.
Absolutely. All right, Vince, I always want to give everyone an opportunity to find out where to find you. So where will people find you, not only today, but just in general?
You mean aside from the VIP section? And if it gets too cold, probably inside? Yeah. No, if you're in Arizona, AM 1060 KDUS. We're also on the AM 1060 app. You can find us on the App Store. So we're going to go live at 10 a.m. Central Time. We'll be on from 10 to 12. And my friend next to me here, who's going to raise the bar on our show, is also going to be a co-host this morning after he goes off the air here. We hope. I don't know. He may have some other obligations here going on.
We'll just exchange mics over the course of the morning up here. Should be a lot of fun. Vince, thank you very much, sir.
Awesome.
The privilege is mine. I appreciate you being here with us today.
All right. Go Midwest Net, and hello to Mrs. Midwest Sports Net.
That's right. She'll, if she's watching.
If she's watching.
She'll
okay.
see. Thank you very much. All right. We're gonna have another guest coming now. So, the mantra is not to literally drop the mic, but if you set the mic down there, I think Matt, you're gonna make your way on in here now. I mentioned a little bit earlier that you should drop the mic, and then I realized Corey may take that literally, and I may be without some of my equipment. So
yeah, that sounds about right, Corey.
I don't want to do that. Matt Schwartzler, who has been a big part of the NAIA F-ball the last couple of years, but also resides in Mitchell, South Dakota right now with the Dakota Wesleyan Tigers. Matt, thank you very much for stopping by the program today.
Of course. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I got to shout out my Tigers yesterday in Hawaii, taking down number 3 Campbellsville women's hoops. So pretty big deal. But I'll tell you what, I'm focused on this game and this wonderful venue behind us that we're going to be watching the game at today.
Now, you may notice that Matt is not wearing the jacket right now, which there's probably a reason for that. What was the temperature when you left Mitchell?
Oh, it was about -10 with wind chill.
So this is just a balmy morning right now for you.
I was considering wearing shorts today. I'm not going to lie to you. The breeze is wonderful. It's like, 60 right now? Something like that, 55?
Yeah, it's got to be in the 50s right now, but it's all right.
I'm living large. It's wonderful right now.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's thanks for having me on. Pleasure to be on, and it's really cool to be here. I was obviously at last year's national championship game doing some social media coverage for NAIA F-ball, but getting to be here in Texas and meet all of the NAIA media people face to face, like yourself and Victory Sports and all those guys. It's wonderful. It's an absolute blast, and I'm excited to be here.
Well, I know that you've had a chance to watch a lot of these games up close and personal, being the sports information director at Dakota Wesleyan. So you've had the chance to make the tour through the GPAC, Great Plains Athletic Conference. And before we get into Grandview and Kaiser, I want to mention that for just a little bit, because that is historically, I say historically, but at least within the past 15 to 20 years, that's one of the toughest conferences to play through.
Absolutely. Yeah, and just speaking from our perspective at Dakota Wesleyan, you know, we've been towards the middle to bottom of that pack for a long time, and it's just a testament to, you know, the teams like Morningside, the teams like Northwestern, the teams like Durant in recent years that have surged and done really well. I'll tell you, I was a bit surprised that we didn't have any GPAC representation in the semifinals this year. I feel like typically we usually do, but you know, it was a really weird year in the GPAC this year, especially with Northwestern kind of taking a dip that we didn't expect them to. Dort looking like pretty much all up until the last week of the season that they were the top team in the GPAC for pretty much the first time. But obviously Morningside swoops back in and claims their rightful spot that they've been on top of for so long. But yeah, I mean, a bunch of great football being played in the GPAC, and yeah, it's been fun to watch up close and personal. It's just really interesting that we're not talking about one of them for today's game.
It really is. A shout out, by the way, to Coach Penner at Dort, Coach Ryan at Morningside. Fantastic seasons, both of them making it into the NAIA playoff field. One of the folks who is part of the community here on Midwest Sports Net and college football this week, Robert Whalen, was talking last night. He chipped in and said, hey, Concordia is going to be around next year. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with next year. You've seen Concordia play too. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they looked really good at the beginning portion of the year. I think obviously having more of a backloaded schedule didn't really play into their favor with how they ended the season, but they looked really stout, and they've always been in that upper echelon, but I feel like we could very easily see them take that next step. It felt like they were that close this year, you know, being right there. And their pass game was really good, which is something that we're not used to seeing. We're used to seeing them pound the rock, and while they did that, they got to air it out this year, which was pretty fun. And when Wesleyan went down there for our game, it was a close little contest. 27-22, I believe, was the final score. But yeah, that's a tough brand of football they play down there. Defense is always fantastic. Would not be surprised in the slightest if they're in the conversation next year.
All right, one more thing before we get to Grandview Kaiser, and I'll let you talk about the hometown team there. Coach Kretchen has completed his second season there with the Tigers, so give us just a little bit of what we might see more in 2026 for Dakota Wesleyan.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely a year of growth for the team, overall going 4-7, and you know, they didn't start like they'd like to. Of course, that was after beating Dakota State in the rivalry game to open the year.
Have to throw that out there,
yes, too. Have to throw that out there because, you know, rivalries, right? Always important to take that traveling trophy home. But, you know, the beginning portion of GPAC play was a little rough, but once they got settled, you know, quarterback Jed Jensen is going to be a big name to watch next year. He grew a lot, even just throughout the course of the 11 games they played this year, just as a younger guy stepping into that role and being efficient. Figuring out, you know, what works with the offense, what doesn't, what guys he can rely on. I'll tell you what, the receiver core too of Stephen Christian and Cole Holden, who won't be there next year, but there's a lot of options for him to throw to, and I think that's super exciting. Defensively this year was a lot of fun to watch those guys. I actually got the chance to play with most of those seniors when I was an athlete at Dakota Wesleyan, so it was super cool to see those guys, you know, like as seniors, you know, running the team, just like when I was there doing the same thing for them. And it's crazy how fast time flies. But really I'll tell you what, it's a fun squad down there. Coach Kretsch and I are really close. He's a really good dude, and I think they're pointed in the right direction. So.
All right. Now, I won't mention then, since you talk about being a rival school, that we were kind of on the Dakota State train a lot of the time this year on Midwest Sports Net. So I won't bring that up.
It's all right. I mean, they had a fantastic season.
They did.
Truthfully, they did. I hate to be the guy to admit that, but like credit where credit's due, right?
Where credit's due. All right, behind us then. So I won't make you talk about that, man. I just had to mention it a little bit for the folks who watch us. I didn't want it to discount that. Really
we
quickly.
won the game, so it's all that
you
matters,
did win
right?
the game. Yep. You may have kept them out of the playoffs.
I mean, the way
There's
the
a
schedule played
possibility
out,
the way it played out, that may have kept them out of the playoffs. All right,
Yeah.
behind us, Grandview and Kaiser. I know you guys have been talking about that, and the next guest is coming up here in just a moment on NAIF ball. Just overview on today's matchup. What do you see?
Yeah, this one is super exciting, especially being a national championship game last year, being able to see a rematch in the works here. And I think, truthfully, compared to last year, Kaiser's going to be ready to go. Not even just with, the rematch, but emotionally, with Coach Russ and everything they've been going through this postseason with him not being on the sidelines for a bit there. And not to mention Shea Spencer is playing out of his mind right now. He is one who, in last year's national championship game, we weren't quite sure. I mean, we weren't even sure if he was going to play in that one. And now he's healthy. He's surging. He looks really good. And Kaiser looks like a team with their hair on fire right now. I'm really intrigued to see how the offense matches up against Grandview's defense, especially just with Grandview being able to fly around. And their defense is, what they've built their brand on for the past couple of years. Being able to see, Jaden Miller, how those guys on the ground can get going, but also, can Kaiser force those one-on-one matchups on the edges with their receivers? That's going to be a big point for me to watch. But, you can't really talk about this national championship without the back-to-back National Player of the Year, Jackson Waring, because it seems like every time we talk about him in the playoffs, he is rising to the occasion and playing even better than we saw last time. Obviously, last week with the snow and Benedictine's defense being up to the task, he was a little slowed down, but I think the wonderful weather today will play a big role in him letting loose. Yeah, truthfully.
I really do.
And I know those Iowa boys won't admit it, but they're probably a bit relieved to not be playing in the snow today.
No, they listen. They've had their man card on full display with what they've done up there the last three weekends, so that's good. Matt Schwartzler with NAIF ball and Dakota Wesleyan as well, and I'm sure lots of other things. Thank you for stopping by the program today,
Of course. Been a pleasure.
All
Take
right.
it easy.
I'm going to let him gently set down the microphone, as that is what we're going with on the motto, and let him, or just make the handoff to Corey Thorpe, who's going to come over here right now. Corey, still have the green light there?
Yep.
All right, we're still good. Okay, that's
Still
fine.
good.
Corey Thorpe, NAIF ball. And we've shared the monitor on the screen a number of times in the last 5 or 6 years, but the first time for you to get to sit next to me here on the channel, and it's a privilege, sir. I'm thankful that you got to stop by.
It is my privilege to be able to sit next to you. It's been fun, being a poll voter and getting to share all of these and talk about these teams for the last several years. And finally getting to meet you in person is always an absolute blast.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. I enjoy voting, and I don't talk about my vote very often on the channel, not because I am ashamed of it or anything, but sometimes you just kind of lay low a little bit,
Right.
but we always promote the NAIF ball, the media poll, and I think the media poll gets it right a lot of times. I'm just saying.
We do, and it's nothing fancy. I just do straight math on the back end, and there's nothing complex about it, and it comes out with a good result because we have people from across the nation,
all over the country.
Vince and from Arizona, Matt up from the Pacific Northwest, me in the Southeast, you and James from the Sooner Conference land. It works because we cancel out all of our biases.
Yeah, and others with secret identities across the country as well. So we don't want to give any of those things away, but they are scattered again throughout the country.
Yes,
so it's really pretty cool. Now you've covered more than one of these on site. It's been a little bit closer to your home state of Florida in recent years, but you were also there, weren't you? There once in Louisiana too.
I was out there for 2 or 3 years, however long they had it in Ruston. We were out there for that. Always rainy this time of year. It felt like it rained every single year. But glad to be in Texas. I mean, North Carolina was great, don't get me wrong. But there were some years out there that I was a little frigid. So a little cold.
A little cold?
Up in North Carolina in December. But here, unlike Matt, I'm still a little cold, but I will bear it because it's going to be 80 some odd degrees today.
It will be. I'm going to go. It's going to stay 78, 79. I'm hoping.
I'm hoping for 80s.
Okay, you're. He is the warm weather dude.
I'm from Florida. What do you want? on.
You know, in this part of the country where we are, and I'm just across the Red River, just north of here, not that far away. It's really not that far. A trip down here, except for yesterday, the final Friday before Christmas, and I was on the George W. Bush Turnpike. I think it felt like I left the house on Wednesday. And I was just driving there through North Texas. But we just get 2 seasons. We get summer for 10 months and then brutal for 2.
I always joke that Florida gets 4, 3 distinct ones. We have cool, hot, and hellacious.
Yeah. Well,
and hurricane if you count that one.
Yeah. Well, it's tornadoes here. So we can balance that out. I'm going to go back to the very start of the season, and again, I know you have places to go. You've got another broadcast to do here in a little bit. We can talk about that in a moment. Let you promote what you're doing. I recall back on the forum, way back in August, when we were talking preseason. I don't know that you were as high on Kaiser at that point in time as you might be right now watching them play. So I hate to throw that back and bring those things back there, but I'm going to say, has your opinion on Kaiser changed?
Yes. So coming into the season, they lost a ton defensively off of a team that I had just watched get torn to shreds by this Grandview team.
Fair.
You're losing a lot off of a team whose defense got showed up. You lose a great running back in Meisinger, and you're coming in with a second year of a head coach who is starting to have to recruit his own players, and there's a lot of questions surrounding. So I don't know that I wasn't high on Kaiser so much as I had a lot of questions that weren't answered, and Kaiser's answered all of them in droves, being able to score offensively. They're more various and multiple on offense than I've seen from them in years. Defensively, they have gotten very, very good up to the elite category. This is a team that you've got to watch out for because they can shut you down on offense.
They really showed out, I think, on both sides of the ball last week.
Yeah.
You give up 21 points to College of Idaho. Again, very good College of Idaho team. 21 points there in that second quarter. Other than that, I mean, it was pretty much Kaiser's game in the semifinals. And I think they really, it felt like it was something that, I know you don't necessarily take momentum from one weekend to the next, but if you did,
yeah, no, absolutely. And they kind of need to because this has been a disjointed playoff for them.
Yes.
Week on, week off, week on, week off. And so you've got to find some modicum of consistency that you can attach yourself to coming into this game. It's the first time that you're playing games in back-to-back weeks in over a month.
Yeah. It's not often you talk about a team having 2 byes in the playoff season.
No.
And I realize it wasn't a bye, and we've talked about, Marion and the unfortunate circumstances there. But, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it was 2 byes.
It was. I mean, you were starting to prep for Marion until you get the news that they had to be withdrawn from the playoffs, which you obviously hate to see. At the same time, you can go back to a bye-week schedule for the rest of the week, and you can just sit and watch, and you can do your first section of game planning while you're watching the game. You can start to see tendencies in who you're going to play, and come to find out that actually helps.
Yeah, they had a fantastic showing against College of Idaho to make it back to the championship game. And one more thing about that, Corey, is that Kaiser is now playing its 4th consecutive championship game. I mean, that's an incredible feat in and of itself.
It absolutely is. The crazy part, it's only been 2 opponents in 4 trips.
Yes.
Both of them in red. Northwestern in 2 years, Grandview in 2 years. And if you remember what happened to Northwestern in 23, they had seen Jalen Gramstad the year before. He did a number on that Kaiser defense. They came back. They ripped it open with a 75-yard touchdown to open the game, and they contained Gramstad from there out. Now, yes, Gramstad was still effective, but he was limited in what Kaiser would allow him to do. I'm kind of looking to see the same thing here from Kaiser getting another shot at Jackson Waring. But the fact to make it to 4 consecutive national championships talks to the strength of the administration and the athletic department, because that's across 2 head coaches that you're doing that.
That's important to mention, too. Now, Coach Russ was there for the other 2.
Sure.
But it's still, another man in charge. Then, so I think it says a lot about the fact that the culture did not change abundantly.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if one person to the next. There's always going to be some shift, but apparently it did not change that much, and you're able to keep that going. All right, I really quickly want to give you the opportunity. I mean, did you want to say anything about? We've talked about Grandview. I had to let Vince talk about Grandview.
Sure. That's his.
That's
he
a
loves
given.
Grandview.
So,
I'm sure he's got a Grandview shirt on underneath his jacket.
he's working hard down there right now, but I don't know if it was the shirt. He may have the tattoo.
Yes.
The GV, or maybe just the Viking. I'm not sure. But the Vikings do come in, though, with the now 2-time National Player of the Year in Jackson Waring.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Jackson Waring had a great season. I'm not sure that, and I might get, message boarded for
Cards
this.
and letters to Corey Thorpe at,
Yep.
go ahead and give the address there. And
Right.
So just so you know what's coming.
I don't know that was a Player of the Year season. I mean, I felt at times like I was watching, Brad Johnson on the Bucks. He was a good quarterback, but it was that defense of the Bucks that won games. I kind of felt like I was seeing the same thing here with Grandview. Didn't think you were going to get Tampa 2 today, did you?
Just I'm going to let you take that shot. I'm going to leave you in that scene all by yourself. No, I did not. I did not see that one coming.
But he's still a great player and still able to change the game. But the real story of Grandview is their defense. We saw it. I mean, Lindsey Wilson in that game against Grandview just looked like they wanted to give up and go home midway through the first quarter. I mean, it looked like they were just so done. And when you face a defense that just makes you want to go home.
It's a very tough defense.
It is tough. And you've got guys like Isaiah Toki and Dalton Van Pelt on offense that you can just wear a defense down on the other side. This is still a really good Grandview team. And I will say, I saw Jackson Waring in the hall yesterday, and I just kind of went, oh,
yes, sir.
It's a large dude. He's going to be tough to take down.
He's a large gentleman. He very, very much is. Well, we have a couple of veteran quarterbacks, to say the least, at the helm today, so this should be a lot of fun. Corey, pick really quickly. Do you have one?
I'm going to go with the Seahawks on the revenge tour. Yeah, you did it on 2022, 2023. I think 2024, 2025 can be the same here.
All right.
So going to go with the Seahawks to even it up in the National Championship Series.
All right. I don't think I put it in the Discord just yet, Corey, but I want to officially say Grandview while you're sitting here, in case I don't get it in before noon.
That's fair. I will. Okay. I will let the folks
will you allow
know.
that?
Yes,
All right.
I will absolutely allow that.
Corey Thorpe, NAIA Football. God bless you, sir. Oh, by the way, you're going to be on live here in just a moment. Promote that really quickly.
10:30 Central Time. I'll be on the UEM pregame show just over that away. And it'll be me and Jason Danley from Victory Sports Net going over everything. We're going to have a ton of guests between the CEO of the NAIA, Jim Carr, both athletic directors, both commissioners of both conferences. It's going to be a good time. You get Dustin Wilkie and Nick Rule. You give them a microphone, it's going to be fun.
You may not get off the air before kickoff.
I may not get the microphone back.
Fantastic guys, though. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Corey. I appreciate it. You can gently place the microphone down there, and I believe if James Lex is available, he's getting ready for Champion Sports Network things. We're looking around up here. A little bit of activity on the field. I always enjoy that. We're a little bit earlier than we normally start Midwest Sports Saturday here, but we definitely wanted to get the broadcast in and work around some other people that are broadcasting today, including James Lex, Champion Sports Network.
Yes.
Shake your hand as well, sir.
My very cold hand here in Fort Worth. It looks sunny. It looks warm.
it's
The
going to
wind.
be warmer. The wind is chilly, and we're in the shade right now
We
too.
are.
That's the other thing. I mean, that's going to take at least 5 to 10 degrees off of the temperature
Yeah.
here.
When we got here, it said it was 60-some degrees, but the feels like was in the 40s because of the 30-mile-an-hour winds. So
Well, just for this broadcast, James did change out of the parka, so we're glad that you're in a little bit lighter clothing right now.
yes. I'm used to warmer weather. You know, it's Texas, but no, these teams. I think Kaiser, they'll be comfortable, even though it's a little bit warmer or same weather for them. For Grandview, last week they played in a blizzard, so to them this is practically the beach for them.
Okay, let's pause there for a second and talk a little football. I want you to promote what you're doing as well. You got Champion Sports Network there on the T-shirt underneath the,
Underneath the puffer jacket.
the puffer jacket. I think the weather's going to be a factor, and I think it heavily favors Grandview. And I really do, because I think they've played in that cold weather so much that they're ready to just be able to be a little bit more free with the play calling, a little bit more free with how they do all that they do. What do you see the weather being a factor today, or do you think it helps one or the other of these teams?
It's interesting because Kaiser, they play in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, off the beach. They get a lot of wind off the ocean, the Atlantic. A lot of things like weather delays. If there's a storm on the ocean, will affect them. But for Grandview, like you mentioned, they're used to playing in weather that makes this feel like a sauna for the last month, and they've had to play through literally blizzards. So I don't think this will affect I think if anything, this will help the passing game because they actually see downfield now for Grandview. But I think the biggest call here is going to be on special teams. If you are, if you're at a 40-yarder, 45, are you going to kick it or are you going to go for it on fourth down? I think that's where we're going to see the biggest impact today.
I'll tell you what, this is one of the things, you talk about that in special teams, but I think having the wind at your back here makes a difference. And it was a north wind a little bit earlier in the week we were hearing. Right now it's more of a south wind. Generally in this part of Texas, and it's kind of the area that you're from as well. You're from Waxahachie, which is hour east. Is that about right?
That's it. But you'll see a lot. You'll see a lot of coin tosses. You will see coaches go for which direction you're going on the field versus who gets the ball first.
It is a strong south wind. I mean, year round, but even today as well.
Yeah, we are in North Texas, so we're about 3.5, 4 hours from the Gulf Coast. But we still do get some of the ocean breeze, which today certainly feels like it when we're in the 30s. But no, I do think my prediction is coin toss. We're going to see the coach. They want the wind at their back for the fourth quarter, and they'll take the ball whenever they can get it.
All right, Champion Sports Network. Where do people find the coverage for that?
You can go find us on YouTube, Champion Sports Network. You can also look at scores.championsports.network. You can keep up with scores from football and across the NAIA. Basketball season's coming up. You can look at some rankings and ratings separated. You can look at
two separate things, just in case you wanted to know.
So if you want to look at the current rankings for teams, it's just a great way to follow all the teams across the entire NAIA. That's what we like to do at Champion Sports Network.
Okay. We have a video on that, by the way.
Yes.
On Midwest Sports Net. There is actually a video about the difference.
You're going to need to make your
rankings
2026 edition of that video. Get a little refresher for that.
We'll put the link in the description later on for that one, just in case you were curious about that. He is telling the truth. And I have been to the YouTube channel for Champion Sports Network, and to see the scores there, I mean, there are times, especially in football, and you say it's happening during basketball now, too.
Yeah, every score across the entire NAIA you can find on there.
Pull that up and pull that tab up, and you can just keep up with everything in the NAIA. And I mean, and they're updated live.
Yes, updated live.
It's really nice.
Yeah, and you can see the teams where they're ranked, so you can kind of see if there's upsets. We use it every day to track what's going on. It's been a great way to follow all these great teams and schools in the NAIA.
All right, James, privilege, sir. Thank you very much. I know that you've been on the forum a number of times, and you've been on the channel a few times, but it's nice to get to sit next to you as well.
It is a pleasure.
And be a part of this broadcast.
Well, thanks for having me on Midwest Sports Saturday. Appreciate it.
God bless you, sir. I'll let him gently place the microphone down. We have one more guest here. I'm going to make sure I'm using our time wisely. I keep looking at the clock here. I hate to feel like I'm just hall monitor or something up here, but that's what we're doing now. Final guest on the program today here on Midwest Sports Saturday, which is presented by the Choctaw Casino and Resorts in Durant. Doug Gann, I'll shake your hand too. First time to get to sit next to you officially here on the broadcast, and I'm very thankful.
Delighted to be here, Joey. I keep ducking for the big red barn to come up over my head somewhere too. But no, it's a tremendous atmosphere. Loving to be out here and appreciate what you're doing, and grateful to have a spot on the show.
Doug Gann, 446, or yeah, I said that right, 446 Sports. Make sure I said the proper verse there.
That's right. It changes things if you get the verse wrong.
Yeah, that
So
is
out of
true.
it,
Could get into Isaiah 46 somewhere,
That's
and I don't know
right.
if that's necessarily. I'll have to look that one up. I need to find that one out. But anyway, 446 Sports, based in Louisiana, and he's been a part of not Midwest Sports Saturday, college football this week here on the channel a few times in the last weeks, and we're going to be seeing more of Doug on the channel as well on college football this week, and maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, we're excited about it. Our coverage of NAIA football and NAIA sports altogether is kind of launching right here with the championship. And I was thinking all the way over here, it's kind of like the Daytona 500. We're coming all out on our first broadcast with the national championship game. And here in Fort Worth, Texas, what a beautiful place to be. Not a bad trip for us over here either.
It's not. Now, I have to ask you, in your part of Louisiana, is this warmer or cooler right now?
It's the same. I mean, we get that. So if you look directly in the middle of the state is where we're at, and we get the same weather they get about the same time. So it'll look just like this back home.
All right. Now, as the music came up, you may want to pull this up just a
Yes,
little
there
bit
we go.
higher.
All right.
I may get copyrighted on this one.
It happens all
It
the
happens,
time. Yes,
but
it is.
anyway, that's all right. It's more of just a privilege to get to visit with you. Grandview and Kaiser, number one, number two team in the country. They've been number one and number two teams in the country all year long. It's really not a surprise to have them getting ready behind us right now.
No, it's not. I know we watched the Seahawks getting ready a little bit earlier too out there, and you knew when you were looking at it all season that the cream would rise to the top. I mean, they've had some tough battles along the way on here, as it's NAIA playoff football. But Grandview is Grandview until they're not Grandview anymore. And Kaiser has been here. This is their fourth trip in a row. A couple of different coaches. I mean, what you figure, you take them until somebody knocks them off.
And Kaiser comes in having a 12-game winning streak. Grandview comes in having a 27-game win streak. Obviously, something has to change today. Something has to go a little bit different for one of these teams or the other. But in looking at that, we've talked about Grandview's defense.
Yes.
We've talked about Kaiser's defense some. We've talked about Jackson Waring because, and Corey was talking about him as the National Player of the Year for the second consecutive year. Shea Spencer brings a lot to the table too. I don't think we've mentioned him enough on the broadcast this morning. Someone who's a grad student who has been a part of the program, I think 6 years now.
Right.
Possibly, I mean, I don't want to say more, but I think he's been within the bounds of the program for 6 years now, and he's peaking this season at the perfect time.
Look, you got to look inside the mindset of a quarterback. That's what you have to do. And he sees Jackson Waring getting that back-to-back Player of the Year. I mean, and so that fuels him a little bit on there. And he's a competitor. He's a third leading rusher for the Seahawks out there. So you've got to watch the dual threat that he's got. But it's the perfect matchup. And you see this all throughout sports. The heavy defense of Grandview, look what they did to Lindsey Wilson on there, just a little over 200 yards, and a Grandview and a Kaiser team that's been over 400 every game this season. So what gives in this? The control of Shea Spencer at quarterback. He took over the game last week, accounting for all 5 touchdowns in that one. And so having somebody that is that smart of the game, because there are people that play quarterback and then there are quarterbacks, and Shea Spencer is a quarterback.
Well, I will let you be a part of the Bet the Barn because I know you were broadcasting high school basketball. You don't have to duck this time.
That's right.
You were part of broadcasting high school basketball on Thursday.
Right.
And so our picks looked a little bit like this. The line showed up for Grandview, over-under on Jackson Waring getting 99.5 rushing yards. We don't think he's going to get 203 like he got last year. I just don't see that happening. But over-under on him getting 99.5. So is he going to break triple digits?
He will. He'll get over 100. I mean, it's just Jackson Waring, what Jackson Waring does. I mean, he's going to have that run that does it. And I mean, that's a big part of his game, too. When Grandview just throws a lot of different things at you, and Offensive Player of the Year, the Player of the Year, back-to-back is one of those things. And so, yeah, he's over 100.
I think there are possibilities today that if he has an opening, I think it would take 2 big runs.
Yep.
But there was one solid run in that championship game last year. He just took off down the side, and it was over. But I think I have the over on that. I'll have to go back and check, but I think I have the over on that. So the other one, second one we had was Kaiser on the Kaiser side, also with the quarterback, Shea Spencer. You alluded to the fact that he was responsible for 5 touchdowns in last week's win. So our over-under, the prop bet on him is 2.5 touchdowns responsible for. Over, under there.
Wow. See, I should have went back and watched the show because I could have planned for these on it and
None of
prepared.
us got to plan on Thursday night, so
except
you don't.
the guy that came up with the prop bets. So
bit of planning.
It's been Kaiser for me the entire way. You know that from the very first time that we talked, and I've been high on Shea Spencer. If they come in now, he's got to get D'Souza into the game. He certainly's got to get Smiley into the game. Those guys have got to do big things. But it's done. I think around the goal line, he goes in and he punches a couple in. I think he accounts for more than that. I take the over. I'm an over guy.
Okay.
So I think he does
I
that.
always like taking the over, but I took the under on that one.
Right.
I'm giving it to Grandview's
but
defense
you like
here.
the defense. That's right. You like Grandview's defense, and you have all throughout the season.
And I have picked Grandview.
Right.
So that's my pick today. Fourth consecutive year that I've not picked Kaiser.
But again, the music in the background, and that's going to get us kicked off. It's the Rocky theme, the underdog. Man, here it comes. And what a better pick than Kaiser in this one then?
I think they probably, and I know Vegas doesn't have lines on NAI, which that's why we do the Bet the Barn, because
Sure.
Vegas is lax in their duties.
Right.
But I would think Kaiser might be a slight underdog in this, if that's the case. I mean, number 1 versus number 2, defending, reigning national champion, however you want to look at that. I think there's a lot to that. All right, third one really quickly
Yes.
then. Pure prop bet.
Okay.
Who scores the first touchdown? Not who scores first. Who scores,
Who scores the
touchdown?
first touchdown? I'm going to not only tell you who does it, I'm going to tell you how he does it.
Okay.
Smiley houses a punt return
Okay.
in this one. So the first touchdown is scored on a punt return, and Smiley takes it to
All
the
right.
house for Kaiser.
All right.
Is that good for?
That's I mean, I thought about going individuals, but I made it a little more,
Oh, no.
little more
No,
generic.
it's championship
but Doug's
day.
going to
Come
take it all
on.
the way. I do have Kaiser
Okay.
scoring the first touchdown. Now, again, Grandview's my pick, but I think Kaiser puts the first 6 on the board.
And look, there's no way that, because I had College of Idaho upsetting Montana Tech, and I got hammered from the guys from that because they say no way Montana Tech, Tool Envy, those guys were out there saying no way it's going to be this, and so if it happens right in this end zone that Smiley brings it back,
Yeah.
it's going to be right here.
All right.
And man, this place is, I may retire after that if it happens that way.
Yeah, I got to end on a good note.
That's right.
End on a good note. All right. I think I have to end on a good note now
Yes.
because I'm just about out of time. But, man, it's nice. The sun is out. We'll be in the shade under here because of this great pavilion. But it's a wonderful day. I'm going to step
Yeah.
out in the sun here in a moment, take
Yep.
the jacket off in a minute. I'm heading over to Vince's program for a while.
Yep.
I'll be on with you for
Yep,
a little
we'll
bit.
go on at 10 o'clock here as well.
Just so much coverage here of the NAI. It's a privilege to get to do it. I mentioned that this presentation brought to you by the Choctaw Casino and Resort and Durant. Just a great sponsor. We appreciate all that they do for being a part of Midwest Sportsnet. I want to give a shout out to all of you all watching early on a Saturday, or whether or not, if you're watching the replay, that's fine as well. It's been a fun morning to get to visit with all these guys. We've talked a lot of football prior to this coming in, and this is just about getting some last takes on it. We know it's Kaiser and Grandview. We've seen all the numbers. We've talked about them over and over and over and over again. I'm sure they're just ready to get out there and play.
It's time to play ball. You like I said, the Seahawks have been out there for a long time. They've been working out on there, and the business-like approach that I've seen from them, they're ready to go in this. But now, don't get me wrong, Grandview, just because they're not out there yet, I don't think they're going to come out here with no business-like atmosphere to it. But Kaiser's ready to go in this one. Coach Russ is a tremendous story coming back. Shea and those guys, Kaiser comes out of here, hoists a trophy.
We'll have a lot more coming up because college football this week is continuing into the off season, so it's going to be year-round. Of course, Midwest Sportsnet. We had, by the way, one last thing I'll mention, had an opportunity to visit with Friends coach Phil McClintock.
The Vikings
Friends
have bus has
basketball
made its
coach.
way here. That's
Now,
that
Grandview
cheer
is
that
pulling
you
in
hear.
right now,
Yes.
and a very good response from the fan base that's out there as
yeah.
well. We have basketball. We have a lot more content on the channel, but we're continuing with college football this week and talking NAIA football year-round. So you want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Human interest stories, all kinds of things. We'll get a chance to visit with Coach Russ sometime soon as well. And just lots of things that are going on. We're excited about that. But I shout out to all of my friends, to James Lex, to Corey Thorpe, to Matt Schwartzler, to Vince DeLicio, to Doug Gann for being on. Midwest Sports Saturday. It's a privilege to be here in Texas one more time. I think this is the third or fourth broadcast from Fort Worth. I think it's the fourth broadcast from Fort Worth for a Midwest Sports Saturday, and it's just it's a lot of fun to be here. Thanks to the NAIA for the opportunity to be here as well, to Texas Wesleyan and all that they do, just to everyone, and again to the Choctaw Casinos and Resort in Durant. All the things they do for Bryan County and where I am at there in Durant and southeastern Oklahoma. They provide so much for that area, and we appreciate them. So shout out one final time to Mrs. Midwest Sportsnet. If you're watching and getting ready for your Saturday football, thank you for being a part of it. And to all of you in the community, thank you for being a part of Midwest Sportsnet and college football this week. Midwest Sports Saturday, we're signing off here, but we'll be on some other channels around here as well. Noon kickoff, Grandview, Kaiser, NAIA Football Championship Series championship game for 2025. You can watch it for free on the UEN. Check that out. God bless you. Have a great Saturday. We'll see you later.